Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I can't believe I'm having to do this video because this happened completely out of the blue today, but Oxford United have sacked Des Buckingham. Didn't see this coming. I don't think any of you saw this coming, and I'll tell you what, I am not happy about it. Oxford have been on a poor run lately. There's no escaping that. It's one win in 15 games. We're sliding down to the bottom of the championship table. But even despite this poor run, and even after yesterday's defeat to Sheffield Wednesday, I still felt that Buckingham's job was pretty safe. The mantra for this season was, give the championship a bloody good go. Hopefully we stay up. If we don't, it's not a disaster. But either way, Buckingham will be there to lead us next season, either in the Championship or in League One. I actually thought Buckingham was going to stay with Oxford regardless this season, even if we had a disastrous season and we were rock bottom and relegated ridiculously early. I know that probably sounds silly to some of you out there. I just felt his job was really safe. And I thought in the short term, the only way he was going to leave this Oxford United role was if he was offered a bigger job. So let's have a look at why this was possibly done. This is all still pretty raw for everybody, and these are only my wild musings on the subject, so do take them with a pinch of salt. But I can only imagine that the board has lost trust in Des Buckingham, in his trust in his ability to keep the club in the Championship. And they want to bring in a more experienced, a more seasoned coach to give us a better shot, in their opinion, of staying up. And I'm also someone that often dives down the rabbit hole of conspiracy theories, and I can't help but wonder if they've been tapping up potential prospects already, or whether they've been in contact with somebody who's stressed an interest in the job that they might have lined up to come in quite quickly. Again, that is only me theorising. But either way, this is quite a big risk from the board. And the biggest risk that the board has is alienating the fan base. Usually when a manager is sacked, we all know this, there is a clamour for it from the supporters. There's usually weeks and weeks of chants from the stands of Buckingham out or Robinson out, as we've heard in recent years. But barring a few comments online or a few little tweets here and there that go into Radio Oxford, I've got the impression that Buckingham is almost unanimously liked by the fans. Most fans love the story that he's an Oxford boy as well. Heck, we see him as one of us. And I can only speak for myself here once again, and some of you hopefully will echo these statements. I did not want this to happen. What's even more surprising is the board have never really done anything like this before. When we had Carl Robinson, Oxford were sinking down the League One table and staring League Two in the face, but they still dragged their heels and took their time before sacking him. So the fact that they've sacked Buckingham out of the blue, this does change my perspective and my feelings towards the board. And let me tell you, it's not for the better. I'm going to say this again at the end of the video, but when things were going well under Des Buckingham, I feel it's almost been as good as it ever has been for me supporting your Oxford United. The fan base just felt, and excuse the pun, unbelievably United, probably more United than the United have ever been before in the history of United. And a lot of that came down to Buckingham, and a lot of that could come down to the fact of it is the Oxford boy come home and done good factor that created this massive feel-good factor around the club. And now that's been taken away. And you do wonder, even if somebody comes in and does well, we're not going to get those highs back. And also, when you think about a new manager coming in, are they going to really change things that much? My mind goes back to chatting with a fan during the Sheffield United game. Now, I say I was chatting to him. He was kind of forced to talk to me because I didn't shut up. But he said that if Chris Wilder was in charge of Oxford United, would he be able to pick a team at the moment that would beat Sheffield United? We both agreed, probably not. So the board, in some ways, are putting that theory to the test, because a new manager will still have to work with the current squad. And in the words of Paul Warne when describing his Derby side, we're a League One side with a little bit of sugar on top. Does this mean that we're going to have a change in the amount of money we're going to spend in January? Are they going to pump some big money in to raise the level of the playing squad to give us a chance of staying up? Well, we will see. That might happen, but I have my doubts. Now, to the board's defence, I can't deny that the season's taken a nosedive, and the last few games in particular have been pretty tough to watch. And the Championship has probably been harder than any of us have expected that it was going to be. And it's looking even more likely that Oxford are going to sink to the bottom of the table. And that could well have happened if Buckingham would have continued. And I get it that they probably feel that make the change now before the transfer window, it gives someone half a season to try and keep us up. But I never got the impression that relegation was going to be a disaster this season for Oxford United. I know the board wants us to be a top 30 club, but I thought they might be realistic about how long that might take. But with this decision, it appears that relegation is going to be a disaster for the board, and they are going to try and stay up at all costs. So who comes in, Oxford United fans? Well, you can leave your comments down below and let me know. I haven't done a huge amount of working on the shortlist, so you can leave your comments about who you want. But Mark Robins would be number one on my list if we could get him. But there are other candidates, managers that have been sacked by other League One clubs like Stephen Schumacher, Neil Harris. You could go for someone like Gary Rowett if you wanted to look down the leagues. Matt Bloomfield is doing an excellent job with Wickham. And I know Ian Holloway is doing gangbusters with Swindon Town. Wink, wink. So I'm just going to end this video now, guys. Not a very long one. We can discuss it more in the comments below. But I'm going to end it by giving a very heartfelt goodbye and thank you to Des Buckingham. I'm very sad that it ended this way. I wanted to see Buckingham, when he did leave the club, ride off into the sunset like Indiana Jones at the end of The Last Crusade, off to bigger and better things. But I don't think any Oxford fan will forget the roller coaster ride that we had under Buckingham, albeit a short roller coaster ride. It certainly was very memorable. As I said previously, when things were at their best under Des Buckingham, I've never seen the club more united. Never forget that he won us promotion back to the Championship for the first time in 25 years. That is a remarkable achievement that nobody can take away from him. To come back to your hometown club and get them a promotion is always going to be a special memory for him. And without a shadow of a doubt, that playoff final victory over Bolton Wanderers was the greatest day I've ever had supporting the mighty Yellows.
The winners of the Sky Bet League One playoffs, Oxford United! We are going up, 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 we are going up.
You'll always be one of us, Des Buckingham. You'll always be the local lad who came home and won us a promotion. The local lad did good. Good luck to you, sir, wherever you end up in the football world. From Oxford United, you'll certainly be missed.